So hello gamers, a lot of people ask me, what's the best barrel attachment? Should I use like R2 suppressor or should I use like a compensator? Today though, I decided to make a video that just addresses which are the good barrel attachments and which ones you probably shouldn't use. We'll do this on the M16A3, it's low recoil and it has a lot of access to barrel attachments and a lot of them work on it, so we'll start with this gun, maybe use a different gun if we have to. But yeah, let's get this right out of the way, do not use suppressor or R2 suppressor. The only times you should use these is when your max or minimum damage does not matter, and most guns, I'm gonna be real with you, they do matter, so don't use these. Same with most of the suppressors. For example, you use the ARS suppressor on the M16A3 and you get 19.8 min. That's what you would get with 223, but this isn't with 223 on the gun. And if you were to use hollow points, I think this would make it a 7-hit LRC. But yeah, the ARS suppressor is probably one of the worst suppressors in the game on most guns. You usually see this gun because, oh, it's so funny and it makes your freaking minimum damage super bad. But yeah, you don't really see this like used unironically, you know, unless it's somebody who's just not that good at the game. I would not use most of these suppressors. But yeah, let's start with the actual good ones. Let's start with flash hider. So flash hider is actually a decent attachment. It literally just removes your muzzle flash. Like if you see me shooting, you see anything coming from the barrel? Nope, nothing. Now the problem with this is that your recoil isn't that good. Yeah, it's just kind of like a weird attachment that just hides your muzzle flash but doesn't do a lot of good stuff for you. Literally the only upside is that you get the reduced muzzle flash. A bad thing about it is that actually makes your hip fire worse. But yeah, that is option one. I would only use this on certain guns. For example, maybe snipers. The PPSH is actually pretty good on because it has a lot of basically a lens flare every time you shoot it. It's so stupid. But yeah, then we got the first really good one. This is the comp. This increases your vertical kick, but makes your horizontal recoil very good. I'm not saying it makes your freaking horizontal recoil perfect, but it makes it a lot better. On most guns though, compensator is going to be the best. Maybe not on the M16, but like on most guns. This is like the go-to barrel attachment because literally like it makes your recoil so much better. Like look at that. Look at this, dude. There is a bad thing about the comp though. It does make your vertical kick higher. If your gun has a lot of vertical kick but like no horizontal, make sure to not use comp and use muzzle brake instead, because the comp can make your vertical recoil a little bit higher. You'll notice that with the M231, but comp is pretty good on the M231 because it has a lot of recoil all over the place. And the thinking for most players is that vertical recoil can be controlled but horizontal cannot. You can pull down for vertical, but you can't really pull side to side for horizontal. It doesn't work. Next up, we probably got the best attachment for barrels on the M16A3. This is the muzzle brake. This actually makes your horizontal recoil a little bit worse, but makes your vertical recoil a lot better. So it's gonna make it like kind of wavy side to side. You might not like that, but most people like it, at least for this gun. Because with 223, like the M16A3 has like 0 recoil. It's not like 0 recoil, but it's pretty low. So yeah, expect to hit some shots from range. Like, look at this. This gun is just very, very accurate. It's a little bit wavy with the muzzle brake, obviously, because like that's just what muzzle brake does. So yeah, comp is a better bet overall. However, on certain guns, muzzle brake is super good. Yeah, but then we got short barrel, and we can talk about long barrel in a second, but there's no long barrel attachment on this gun. I have to find a gun that I have a long barrel for. As you can see though, short barrel makes your gun like a little bit shorter. I don't know if it changes your walk speed. It might. It kind of feels like it does. But what's really important about it is that it makes your maximum damage range a little bit better, but your velocity a lot worse, and your minimum damage range a lot worse. But another nice thing about it is that it does make your like gun handling a lot better. Like your aim down sight speed is actually a little bit faster. It doesn't make a huge difference on this gun, but like on certain guns it's pretty good. Like I've seen people use it on the K14. Although on snipers it can have a huge effect on your muzzle velocity, which is kind of important. On the M16, not a huge deal. On the K14, it's a pretty big deal when you use short barrel. Your handling is better, but with like remove stock skeleton grip, it was already pretty good, so just depends on what you want. For me, I don't use short barrel on most guns. I don't think on any guns, honestly, because the upsides aren't that big. The downsides are pretty big, and you can't use like a comp or a muzzle brake, so your recoil is going to be like basically overall worse. But yeah, it's a pretty popular attachment, so if you like it, use it. Nothing wrong with using an attachment you like. But yeah, let's see if I can actually get this. No. Dude, like the recoil is just kind of worse. The gun looks cooler, honestly. Like I like the shorter version of the M16, and I'm not a big fan of like the extended mag look, but of course the extended mag is just incredibly helpful. I remember before 223 extended mags, I got 223 and I was like, nope, not gonna use this. But now that it has an extended mag and less recoil, man, it is so good. Overrated maybe, but it's still good. Does this have slugs? I did this for a video a long time ago. Stevens with slugs. It was super fun. If you want me to do that again, I can. If people want to see that, I don't know. Bonk. Oh. Bonk. Oh, dude, I'm a gamer with the Stevens. I'm so good with the Stevens. Probably because I have like 1,500 kills with it. I used to be a Stevens main, dude. Back in like 2018. Super fun gun. Ooh, and another kill. This is why I'm the #1 ranked player in the game. Oh my god. Next up, we got Muffler. So this is cool because it's like a suppressor that doesn't lower your muzzle velocity or your damage. It also makes your recoil a little bit better. The downside of this though is that it actually lowers your fire rate by just a little bit, 10%. I don't use this on autos ever because it makes your fire rate, like I said, super low. However, on bolt actions, it has no downsides. It just makes your gun quiet. The recoil is technically 10% lower, or like probably like 15%. 10% reduced fire rate, and then probably another 5% better recoil. If it shoots slower, it has better recoil. That's just how it works. Like, it's going up less because it's shooting less. Does that make sense? I think that makes sense. Yeah, I wouldn't use this on autos, but I would use it on like every sniper except a semi-auto sniper. It does slow down the SVU, the M107, and the SVDS, but it doesn't slow down bolt actions, and it's kind of good on here, but like not super good. It's kind of good on like some autos that are really fast, I guess. Maybe the M231, but probably not. Next up, we got the Halbig though. This literally like makes your recoil go down. Watch. See that? This is more of a meme barrel attachment, but unlike the suppressors, it does have a place in the game. There is a niche to it, but it's not like a super good niche in my opinion. Some people will tell you, ooh, this is the best barrel attachment for some guns, but I cannot think of a single gun. I remember I got it on the SFG and I was like, oh, it would be so funny because it just shoots down, but it only has 1 bullet, so it doesn't matter. Even that was too inconvenient for me. Even though it wasn't really doing anything bad, I had to like leave scope, you know, I have to leave ADS to reload for like 3 seconds. It still was annoying for me. And like basically on every gun, it's just annoying. Like, look at this. Oh, it's so bad. Yeah, it's shooting like above my sight, so you can't even hit anything with it. See, like the shots are landing above the sight, and I'm out of bullets. It's a barrel attachment. It might work for some people, but not for me. Anyways, next up we have the Loudener. Now, this doesn't actually have a niche in the game because technically it does nothing for your gun. It doesn't make it worse and it doesn't make it better, but it does make it super loud. Like, to spare your ears, I'm probably not going to use this one that long. It's loud, but it does work. It's literally like using a flash hider. It has a cool thing that it does, which is helpful, I guess, because it makes your gun sound cool, but like, not the best thing or anything. Since it's the M16, I can still pop off with it because it's like the most easy gun to use. But if you want to actually like make your stuff better, I guess the last two could be helpful for that. First off, the oil filter. I kind of despise this. It makes your muzzle velocity lower, your range is a lot worse, and it makes your fire rate 20% worse. So like a muffler, but it has crazy downsides. However, it does have a pretty big upside. And you're like, what is that? Well, it doesn't lower your damage, which is honestly pretty nice. And it makes your gun probably like the quietest thing you've ever heard. Doesn't even know I'm here. Like, how are you supposed to know that other players are here when they have this, you know? It's so quiet. And it's weird because a real life oil filter is not quiet at all. Like, it's probably about as effective as a regular suppressor. And guns with suppressors in real life are actually pretty loud still. It does make your recoil a lot lower, but like your RPM is a lot lower. It actually lowers your muzzle velocity and your ranges get a lot worse, and it's just big. Look at how large this thing is. Overall, it's not a bad barrel attachment, but it's just not for me, I'd say. This is another one that doesn't slow down snipers. However, it does have downsides. It makes their torso kill worse. It makes their muzzle velocity worse, but it does make them quiet. So if you want to use it, use it. And then the last one, muzzle booster. This is probably one of the newest barrel attachments to ever be added to the game, except like really proprietary ones, which we'll try to get to a few of those in a second. But yeah, this one is crazy because this is basically the best barrel attachment in the game if you can deal with the recoil. It makes your RPM 8% higher, which literally just makes your gun kill 8% quicker, which is just really good, right? So it just kills really fast. However, recoil wise, you're gonna notice a really big increase. Like, I'll show you in just a second. Before, I'd probably be able to hit a guy, you know, up here, but now it's going to be a little bit harder for me. I mean, M16A3 223 with a stubby grip is still going to have pretty good recoil, but you're going to notice at range that this thing is just not going to hit as many shots, and it's so sad that the game ended right then because I could have like showed you more, but basically just expect a lot more recoil. But you do go from 800 RPM to 864, which is faster than the HK416, which is like, if you don't like the M16A3's RPM, maybe this is worth it. It's really up to you. I use muzzle brake currently with stubby grip because this is like the meta loadout, so I'll just use this one. But yeah, let's talk about long barrels now. So long barrel is actually pretty interesting. It makes your maximum damage range worse. In this case, it's only 16 studs. However, it gives you an absurd amount of min range, which I think in this case it's 80 studs, but it does make your handling worse. As you can see here now, I have like an RPK on my AK-103, but you also get better muzzle velocity. So it's basically like the best attachment. If there's a long barrel on your gun, use it. It's so sad that this bipod doesn't go out. You know, it should go out. Like, it should get the bipod to work when you prone, but that's just my opinion. So yeah, worse handling, but better muzzle velocity, better ranges, and yeah, it just goes. There's literally not a single gun in the game that the long barrel is bad on. You know, short barrel is bad on most of them, but the long barrel's even good on shotguns if they have it. Then we got stuff like extended barrels. These are kind of a toss-up because like for the XIX you can use the extended barrel. I don't actually, like I don't like it, and the reason for that is that it makes your handling just terrible, but these ones tend to make both ranges better. And then there is certain proprietary things like the police barrel, which aren't usually that good. If you see proprietary barrel, it might not always be that good, but some of them are good. Like for example, the bars barrel is really good most of the time, sometimes I guess. You got like CQB barrels on some of the snipers. Those tend to not be that good. Most of the time a long barrel is just better. And yeah, any gun with a long barrel, use the long barrel. Like I use it on my Colt SMG. But yeah, that's most of the barrel attachments in the game. If I missed one, put in the comments. If there's a proprietary one that people might actually be interested about, put that in the comments and I'll try to give you my opinion on that one. But yeah, that's it for the video. If you guys enjoyed, please like and sub, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.